Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 205. 205 live episode. Remember that?
Long dead.
I think I was excited for that at some point. Because
Like,
I like cruiserweights.
oh, yeah, probably.
How long did that last? A year?
No, it was like from 2017 to 2021 or 22.
So it lasted quite a while?
Yeah, but then remember it just became like 205 Live basically became Level Up.
Yes.
With the name that doesn't make sense.
Right, because it wasn't all just 205ers anymore.
Yeah, and they were putting like women on there. And
I forgot about that era.
so, yeah.
Well, welcome back. Sorry, we got sidetracked before we even got started. That's going to happen for us. We have timestamps if you want to jump ahead to anything. We'll eventually get around to talking about some news, some AEW Dynamite. We'll include Clash at the Castle in our news, I think, because we didn't watch it. Full disclosure.
And I don't care.
So anything notable we'll just kind of bring up in the news segment, I think. We'll talk about NXT, TNA, WWE main roster, some trivia, whatever else we may sort of slip into other conversations that aren't related to wrestling or not. Usually in this banter part, we just watched, episode 4
Yeah.
of The Acolyte? What did you think? We now just debrief on
It was the most interesting one, I think.
the most interesting one.
It was better than last week. I didn't really like the flashback episode.
Okay, I liked last week better. I
found
this
it
week.
boring. I don't know. I don't mind getting the backstory on them. It's just I didn't think we needed a whole episode set in there.
Right.
Like it felt too drawn out for me, and just kind of, I don't know, it wasn't necessary.
I feel like they've revealed so much so fast that they have to find ways to kind of slow down. It's like in one episode we find out, or 2 episodes, like, oh, the sister's alive and this and this and that, like so many important details.
Yeah,
so
but
fast.
that could be okay because I feel
could.
like I felt like Bad Batch went really fast at first too.
Yeah,
and I think that turned out really well. So we'll have to see. And like I saw something like they shot this one and the next one kind of as one thing, and then so that's why they kind of cut it off weird when the Sith guy comes in.
Okay.
So like apparently next week's like longer, and
it was very abrupt.
It was pretty abrupt, yeah, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
in a way. And
you think your prediction still holds?
100%. If
anything, so
if anything, I'm more sure now.
More sure than ever.
And now that like May is basically dipping on their original mission,
yeah,
Homeboy's gonna come for her ass.
It seems so, yes.
And like, yeah, he's already there.
Yeah,
he didn't free. I guarantee he could have freed himself from getting hung upside down like Darby Allin.
Yeah,
but I think he didn't, because then he's, he's not suspicious, and I don't know. It's just like, it's odd how much he knows.
He was hanging like Darby Allin. You're right.
He knows
just like that.
Too much about everything just to be some dumbass.
Yeah,
and like he's with her,
and really,
he there's no way he didn't like engineer that somehow.
Who else could it be? Really?
Exactly. That's also that. And again, my track record's been amazing.
Oh, for 2, you said?
Yep, but
third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
From the world of academics, you have completed all but one of your exams in your grade 11. For our American friends, your junior year of high school.
Nearly a free man.
Nearly. So what do you write on Chemistry. So that's one of the heavier ones, yeah?
Yeah, especially because, teaching a whole lot.
Fair. And then you're basically done.
Yeah, I'm done, yeah.
Summer of working and hanging out with your friends, swimming probably.
Driving.
Whatever you get into. Anything else you wanted to discuss before we get into this? You've got to work today. It is Saturday, June 22nd. We're recording it just before noon. He's got to get to work. Your brother has a ton of basketball this weekend. One league is playoffs, so they've been undefeated to this point, so hoping for a good playoff performance. And then their second league starts this weekend.
Oh, I guess we're checking out Sami Zayn's comedy show in Toronto.
True. You got an early birthday present from your mom because you need to book it off work. Is Sami Zayn, is doing some sort of comedy show on the weekend of, I am assuming, Money in the Bank, right?
I don't think so.
No?
Actually, yeah. Well, it is before.
Must be.
It's on Thursday, though.
So we're going to check that out, and I'm sure we'll talk about it on whatever episode
and then
follows.
I was telling you, because we won't be able to mention it next week. I guess we could, but like that Tuesday will be a year since Forbidden Door last year.
Right.
Which is crazy, because...
And I assume you're going to watch the match at some point.
The match of the
in celebration.
ever. Yeah.
Match of the ever?
Yeah.
Remember that you said that.
Okay.
These moments are happening.
But yeah, like that.
Now.
So that was cool, because and it sucks because like I didn't really want to take videos the whole time. I have a lot of videos of the multi-man tag with Blackpool and the Elite.
Yeah.
When Takeshita like killed Ishii.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was great. And the guy fell down the stairs.
The drunk guy falling down the stairs and missing the greatest match
I've ever
of all
seen.
time.
Yeah, and then
good times.
Final Countdown, all that jazz.
Yeah, about a year away from that.
Weird that that's a year ago.
Yeah. Went by fast.
Missed that.
Time flies. All right, well, I say we get into talking about some actual wrestling, as we tend to do for almost a couple hours every week, it seems like. So we'll start where we always start. That is some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, I think for one of the first times ever, we talked about the ratings a little bit before we sat down to record, because it was a pretty crazy development this week. Ratings were, NXT had a good week. 724,000 viewers, up 0.8%, earned a 0.26 in the key demographic, which is up 18.2%. So a big increase there. It is their highest demo rating of 2024, and that's despite going head to head with an NHL Finals game. Dynamite, other end of the spectrum, 502,000 viewers, down 26.3%, 0.16 in the demo, down 30.4%, compounded by the fact that there was no major sports competition that night. It is the third lowest audience total in history of the show, and the lowest ever for a Dynamite done on a Wednesday night.
That sucks, guy. I honestly didn't think it was a bad show.
I didn't either.
I liked it. It just sucks for them for sure.
And I was assuming as I read that, right, okay, they went up against something major. Nope. Just a real lull. So crushed by NXT this week. Kind of all-time low ratings. And yeah, I didn't mind the show. Again, it's what they were promoting for the show, not necessarily what the show was, that gets people to watch it, right? So anyways, rough week for them. We'll talk about the show in depth, both of them, to a certain degree as we get on. But what other news did you have for us?
Was from SmackDown was Jacob Fatu finally debuted and took out Orton, Owens, and Cody. He did a big splash from the top.
I meant to go back and watch it, actually.
So he beat the tar to the champ.
Sorry, what did you say? He did what?
Splash through the table.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
From the top. So.
Looked strong at least?
He looked, from what I saw, yeah. And I'm still waiting on Talatonga, but
so far no name change for Fatu?
I don't think it's for him, because my other related news thing was that they recently filed a trademark for Caesar Sikoa.
Yes,
and
I saw
it's
that.
unknown. The speculation's either name change for Solo or it's a new Bloodline person. At least it's not Fatu.
Can't see them changing Solo. What would the point be?
I thought the whole point of his name was when he came next. He got abandoned by his family. He's Solo.
He
hasn't been Solo for a long time.
That's correct. He had no family. He was the king of fighting in the streets.
He was the unwanted whatever. Right. Now he's the
member, the head.
And Caesar wasn't Caesar, Julius Caesar type thing.
Okay.
So that's concerning for me, because I don't really like that name, and I don't really think his name's a problem.
No, me either.
I mean, obviously what I just pointed out, but that's dumb. It doesn't matter that.
And
much.
I'm not sure a ton of people even know that, because that's going back to NXT, which
2.0.
Which people didn't watch for good reason.
Yeah.
G1, I don't think we talked about it on the show. We talked about it kind of ourselves. The G1 roster's been announced, right? So Block A is Naito, Umino, Sonata, Takagi, Okan, Saber, Kid, Evil, Jake Lee, and one spot to be determined.
There's some mini play-in tournament.
There is, which I'll talk about too, because I made note of that. So out of that group, anyone really surprising? I'm not.
I guess having Jake Lee from
I think
Noah.
That's the big. I don't even know him, but yes, he's coming from another promotion. Evil, I'm kind of over.
But I feel like he's a regular around these kind
of
things.
He's going to be in there. Kid, because New Japan's thing is they really want to push young people right now, is the plan. So
good for Gabe Kidd. And
Morrissey and Gabe Kidd is good.
He still got the open weight title, the strong title.
Oh, yeah?
Because he took that from Eddie when he...
Oh, that's right. Was losing all his belts.
Yeah.
So Block B, Goto, which I'm kind of...
I have not really watched Goto.
ELP, he's cool. Suji's cool. Cobb's cool.
I love Suji.
Hanare's cool.
He's interesting.
Finley, whatever. Kinda.
Finley's fine.
So apparently it's Narita, not Ren Narita. It's Ren Narita, which I'm struggling to adjust.
It'll be like Takeshita.
Yuimura, Takeshita.
Takeshita being there is awesome.
And another one.
Play-in spot. And I think on the first day of the match is Suji Takeshita, which is the match I really want to see. So I'll gladly watch that.
We have literally never seen Takeshita have anything but a very good match. So this is going to be
except for when he had faced Jericho or Sting and Darby, but that wasn't his fault.
No. So this is going to be day after day of him in cool matches.
And it'd be Japan Takeshita, which is supposedly what makes him happy. So.
Right. We'll see happy, fulfilled Takeshita.
I will gladly... I'll think about following Takeshita, but I will gladly check out him versus Suji at least, because I I really enjoyed Tsuji Osprey last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and check out a whole bunch. I think if I can. So as you said,
I'd watch some Umino too. I like him a lot.
So there's tournaments to get in the tournament, right? So the A block one, it's Ishii, Yoshihashi, Callum Newman. Don't know.
That's the Osprey young boy. Remember he was in the dog pound cage match and he got like handcuffed for the whole time?
Oh, yes, he did nothing.
That guy.
Because
he wasn't in the match. He wasn't in the match.
Right.
But like he's like the next Osprey, so to speak. Or like he was...
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Satoshi Kojima, Taichi, and TJP.
Okay. The Aswang.
Sorry, I combined the two. Sorry, Block A was Ishii, Yoshihashi, Callum Newman, Kenta, Chase Owens,
Nice.
and Yujiro. Block B is Tanahashi, Yano, Bolton, Oleg Bolton, Satoshi Kojima, Taichi, TJP. So
Tanahashi's not even in the real tournament. Yikes.
It'll be weird that one of, at least, Tanahashi, Yano, and Ishii won't be in there, right?
That's true.
Because they've been in forever. And Yano gives those comedy relief matches where they're not doing a 20-minute Japanese style match. They get kind of a break with Yano, so I don't know if they need somebody to do that.
That's true.
Right, but anyways. Any other news you have?
The only other one I had is AEW's taping TV in the UK on August 21st. They got Dynamite Collision taping in Cardiff.
Be nice to see a different crowd, hopefully.
Maybe like the lack of, since wrestling's not always there, that will help their sales.
Sell some tickets.
Because I think the last Cardiff thing might have been Clash at the Castle, like not this one, but the first one.
And I don't think Dynamite tickets have been a hot commodity lately.
So yeah, I'm thinking like just it being wrestling there will help them out a lot.
And a company that never comes, so hopefully that's good. No timetable for Mark Davis's return still.
Oh, I forgot about him.
And Fletcher's quote leads me to believe maybe there's something more than just the wrist. He said, "I can't speak exactly on what's going on right now with him. I think that's his story to tell. I don't want to be that person, but he's doing good. He'll definitely be back, but not an exact timeline."
That makes it sound worse for sure.
It does. Something else is going on. But anyways, we really like him. Him being gone means Fletcher gets more of a singles time, but...
Yeah, I heard good things about his 2 or 3 Falls match on ROH with Big Shotty.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah.
So I might check that out actually.
Yeah, it could be good. Kevin Kelly says he plans to sue AEW for defamatory comments.
Saw that.
Saying that the comments made about him about conspiracy theories and things have sort of
stock plummeted.
Yeah, that it's hurt his standing in the industry, I think is how he chose to say it. And then an interesting thing, he went on to sort of his analysis of Tony Khan, and I don't think it's totally wrong. He says that Tony Khan is targeting a niche group of wrestling fans and creating content for them, which is kind of us, I feel like, in the hopes that other people will latch onto it and that maybe they're not going to, sort of thing. Because it's like he's targeting too small of a group that want like really good in-ring stuff more so. Like we want both, but AEW is the place you go for in-ring like really good matches, right? And the other thing is that Shota Umino has a strained disc in his back and a broken hip, but claims he can be back for G1 because he's in the A block.
I mean, I'd hope so.
When isn't G1 in the
next month? I think
July, right?
Yeah, it's the summer thing.
So a disc and a broken hip.
Out of everyone in the G1, I'm not no specific winners jumping out to me.
That's what I was just gonna ask who your favorite is. Going back to that,
I'll root for Tsuji probably.
I don't think that's a terrible choice,
especially because him, Yumura, Narita, and Umino are like supposedly the next 4 like that they're focusing on.
Right.
So I think it could be any one of them.
Yeah.
Personally, I would pick Tsuji, or I guess my runner-up pick would be Umino, just out of who I'd want. Obviously, I'd love it for it to be Takeshita, but like that's be realistic.
Do you think there's a way that happens?
No, I don't think so.
Probably
just because he's an outside guy.
It would be cool.
I'd love it. Even if he gets decently far, I'll be happy.
Might be a unique story too. Right?
I thought Osprey kind of got hosed last time. I think he should have won instead of Naito.
Yeah, I agree.
Osprey was killer last year,
and Naito doesn't thrill me. To be honest,
Naito, I don't really care.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap up. Oh no, we said we'd talk about Clash at the Castle right now. So here's our Clash at the Castle recap, which is opener Cody retained, right? Because AJ didn't want to be hit in the head with steps. I sort of watched the finish of it.
Lame.
Isn't that a? Didn't we just see a Christian Cage had that finish too?
That
right?
was like a thing with the bar, the 2x4 with nails in it.
Right,
I mean,
but it's like the whole don't hit
yeah,
me.
yeah, but that feels more adequate to me. Or appropriate.
Very surprising to me, the women's tag titles change hands.
Not surprising, Baszler loses. Literally.
Baszler took the pin, which is clear. Was this them just saying we'll give the hometown crowd something
Because they absolutely almost 100%.
they're not getting what they really want.
Once they won those titles, I should have seen the writing on the wall.
Correct. Zayn beat Gable in what, by all accounts, was a good match, I'm sure. I don't know if anything else happened, Gable and his group-wise, out of that. I didn't really look into it. Bailey beat Niven. What a big surprise.
Yeah.
And the big talking point, I guess, coming out was that Drew McIntyre gets screwed over in his home country.
For no good reason.
By CM Punk, who sneaks in to be the referee.
The referee got taken out, so Punk came in a ref shirt, didn't count it, then low-blowed McIntyre, south of heaven, Priest wins. In what universe is Punk the good guy here? I was just going
to say, and Drew is the heel.
In what universe am I supposed to cheer for Punk? And that's not even with my bias.
It really annoyed me on Raw. I'll talk about it there too. But and commentary working really hard to try and convince us. Like gaslight, I would say correctly.
Yeah. Probably.
We watched it
happen. Because what? McIntyre's been trolling him on Twitter. Is that not a thing that people tend to do? There's always there's some Twitter interactions between wrestlers
their spin is he has this unhealthy obsession with Punk. Punk's the one that showed up. McIntyre was
Punk
doing
had
nothing.
No involvement in Scotland, so.
And Drew was just going about his business trying to win a championship.
I mean, yeah, he's been teasing me the whole time, and yes, I love it.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's the two things are not proportional.
No, that's
whatsoever.
Right. The response is not proportional.
And yeah, he injured Punk, but then guess what? Punk already got him back at Mania.
Right.
So this is just. It's not even you can say, oh, this is Punk getting him back for the Rumble. No, he did that at Mania. And to me, that was still kind of dumb, but that's fair because it's Money in the Bank and, all that. But this is just
I don't get how Drew's supposed to be the heel here.
How, in what universe am I not supposed to like Drew here?
And especially as a person not on social media seeing all the back and forth, just seeing what I'm seeing, how much I watch main roster. It's everything this guy says is right. And he's getting screwed over by Punk at every turn. So I don't.
Yeah, this just feels like overkill.
Yeah.
For Punk, and it's not even. It's also there's the fact that I already hate him. But,
correct. We are extremely biased in the direction of not supporting Punk.
But unbiasedness, still
I think so.
I don't understand why I'm not cheering for Drew here, especially because Priest is the leader of a heel faction, and so he looks like the lucky heel here. And McIntyre, if he was the heel in the feud, then crap job. But
yeah. Honestly.
And so then as for us with Punk, no, he's not the heel. I don't understand.
No, and Drew is killing it as a heel, so having him in a situation where he doesn't feel like the heel isn't helping him.
Where I think he's right every time.
Right. And he's supposed to be right in his own mind. That's the heel mode, but not necessarily ours.
Yeah.
And we're I agree, you're right.
I think it was the stupidest possible finish they could have done.
I get it was dramatic and whatever, and it will definitely get a reaction from the average fan, which is really what they care about.
Punk shouldn't be allowed to do that.
They're not, whereas AEW is making a product for us, they're not.
Yeah, and
usually.
How does Punk not get reprimanded at all for
right.
just inserting himself as a referee, just because he grabbed a shirt?
And then I think was that on Raw. I don't know if they showed it on the PLE as well, but yeah, he stops a referee and gets an extra shirt from her.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Throws it on, and that's fine.
That's
again, kind of Drew's thing, and nothing happens to him.
Exactly. In what universe is that? Okay, but then Drew McIntyre is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Again, it just doesn't make sense to me. So it's very bothersome.
So yeah, we didn't watch any of it. Just didn't appeal to us.
All I wanted this year is for McIntyre to get his moment.
Yeah.
And they just.
And
I that was the whole thing with Mania too. Is another reason I wasn't mad at Mania is because oh okay, there's a show in Scotland.
Makes sense. No.
Now what? Now Gunther's going to get the title. And great, I love Gunther. But if, in all honesty, I'd rather give it to Drew now. Gunther has time.
It's Vince got the pencil again because he was he's losing in Scotland.
Although I would wonder if, how Vince would treat Punk.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
It's funny because I'm somewhat of a completionist, right? I watch all of the WWE PLEs and I was not compelled, never on time. It wasn't even
a Saudi show.
Never live. But
I know you skip those.
Yeah, I do. And that's it. I was not compelled to go back and watch this one at all, even though I'm sure there was.
Didn't care.
I'm sure Cody match was good. I'm sure the Gable match was good.
I just didn't care, and then also the main event just really deterred me from.
Didn't Jade Cargill have
anything.
a significant botch or something?
She botched the springboard move. Apparently the rope was loose.
I heard there's a couple spots with ring
Yeah.
involving ropes. But
So I think it was just the ring ropes. But yeah, she did botch.
So that's the news that came out of that. Now we'll go into our in-depth review every week. That's taking a look at this past Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. Wednesday's Dynamite, go ahead.
We kicked off this time with MJ versus Roosh, which was commercial free.
Oh, right. Appreciate that, because I love Roosh. Everyone knows I love Roosh.
Yeah. Snap German suplex and a run knee for 2 from Roosh. MJF came back with a super kick and that hammerlock cradle DDT for 2, which looks really gnarly.
Oh, right. The rampage-ish sort of.
Yeah.
It does look good.
Pile driver from MJF got a close 2 count. Overhead belly into the turnbuckles from Roosh.
That looked nasty.
Roosh caught MJF midair with a big right hand, followed by a straight jacket pile driver for 2. He sends MJF hard in the barricade numerous times and whips him with the cable. The ref is distracted with the chair.
Classic Roosh. That's his cable. Signature.
Overhead belly off the apron from Roosh was pretty sweet. And then MJF went with the Heat Seeker, followed by a Brainbuster, which I thought was awesome. Usually he just goes Heat Seeker.
Yeah.
So Heat Seeker, Brainbuster from MJF for the win. Then on the Tron, we see Cage of Agony, which is Mogul Embassy without Swerve.
With Cage as the mouthpiece. These are choices.
They're with Hechicero and Hechicero versus MJF at Forbidden Door because
that's cool. Because
MJF talked trash about the Elite, so they're making him a match. I guess Hechicero would do damage, so
I guess that's fair.
I'm not gonna complain.
I really like the match. First of all, I think like Roosh is really good at being the despicable, vicious heel, and then like along the way he can't help posing and taunting too. That's just what he does. So I'm glad he got a bit of a showcase on Dynamite. Like
sure.
no chance of him winning, obviously, but he looked really good.
Made the most of his time at least.
And he laid a beating on a top guy, right? So the crowd,
even just in the build, he's looked pretty solid too. So there's that plus this.
Yeah, they put in a lot more effort than I thought they were going to.
At least like a couple weeks.
Yeah. The finish was sudden, and Brainbusters aren't usually finishers, but I guess it was like on top of his finisher. So
it was like headshot kind of thing.
And I just hope Roosh keeps some momentum that he gets off of this. And then I was just like, wow, Cage is speaking for a group of people.
I don't think he sounded bad. It's just strange.
It's just weird. And
I guess one of his better promos.
Again, the match build for Hechicero and MJF isn't anything great, but I'm excited to see Hechicero in an extended match on a pay-per-view.
That I really enjoy.
I know he's not winning or anything, but he's cool to watch.
Fine. I just want to watch Hechicero.
Me too.
Super solid match to start the show. I thought a good comeback for MJF. He looked as good as he did when we last saw him, so no ring rust really. And like you, I'm glad Roosh got a good showing here. He looked on MJF's level, and
he did.
Although he lost, I think he gained something from all of this for sure. Just the exposure and like looking on par with MJF.
He got the majority of this match, I would say.
Yeah, so I think he definitely benefits from this. Kind of like when we saw him showing out in the C2.
Right, that's the last time he looked real good.
I've seen the clips on Instagram. I still have no idea why Hechicero is affiliated with Cage of Agony. I'm assuming just Forbidden Door season is Forbidden Door season.
I guess.
Hechicero versus MJF sounds awesome, and I love that for Hechicero.
And it feels, I know everyone's like, that's not a big match for MJF, but he's just coming back. He just needs a quality win to build momentum. And
yeah, plus it's a cool matchup for Forbidden Door season.
And let some other people have some shine with some bigger matches for that
that's
show.
some quality CMLL involvement too. If that's what they're moving towards for this, just kind of to bolster the New Japan side.
Hechicero is cool, man, so
for sure.
I'm all for it.
Then we get Renee interviewing the conglomerate of Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy. Now Dante Martin's tacked on.
Yeah, right. Tacked on feels the right
I don't
phrase.
care.
No.
Briscoe's fired up again. We got 2 words of the day, which is vengeance and redemption. Perry walks on the screen, and Mark's just like, "Get your ass out of here, Jack Perry." He says an all-star tag match that he goes off ranting. Kyle O'Reilly will follow him anywhere. Orange gives Renee a bracelet, and I love Mark Briscoe.
And O'Reilly's making really good facial expressions too.
That's why I love O'Reilly, man. He's so funny. Like, cause he's just like when Renee is talking, like she was asking Orange Cassidy, he's just like,
yeah.
And then when Briscoe starts talking, he's just like.
And Briscoe wasn't quite as like unhinged as last week, but he's still like super engaging.
And I think his dynamic with O'Reilly really makes me laugh too.
And he can just heat up like seemingly random stuff just with his energy, right? So yeah,
I really enjoyed his energy. Yeah, he's been really amusing me lately. His promo style is just always incredibly entertaining and endearing. Is the word. It's just It's really enjoyable.
It is. And it works for Cassidy too, because his lazy character, like, he should be fine with other people doing all the talking.
Yeah,
right?
he'll be fine
He
with
can
it.
just stand there.
Yeah. His ramblings plus Kyle's facial expressions made this super hilarious. Kyle's a great, just physical comedian.
Yeah, he's good.
I love him. We could keep getting these tag matches every week just to get a promo like this, and I don't mind. Or even just I'd be curious to see a Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe tag run, just because there's something there, you know what I mean?
And even just the super technician and then the redneck kung fu, it's all kind
I
of.
would really like that. Yeah. Or in both of the matches, O'Reilly and Cassie have been taking the UE finish. So
True.
That's also interesting. But I really like this. Briscoe's super enjoyable. I love him. I did and it could always change, but I put him in our best on the mic just because I say that about Pac and Switchblade. It's that unique style that I love every time.
Yes.
So I think he's
He's at least worth mentioning.
He's working his way to a spot there. You know what I mean? Then we get face to face with Will Ospreay and Swervington. Ospreay said that Swerve said he's not capable of carrying both worlds at once, but he is very capable. He bragged about holding 3 championships on 3 continents at the same time. My mind goes to the IWGP US title, maybe the UK title, and then I know there was a time where he was IWGP World Champion, Rev Pro Champ. I don't know what he's specifically referring to.
Me either.
He told Swerve he'll find out Will is the best wrestler in the world. Swerve said actually he is, and he told Ospreay he's been watching him, and they've on different paths over the last 5 years. Swerve said he's been holding it down pro wrestling in the entertainment world. He mentioned that Ospreay beat Omega last year for Mindoro, but he needed help. I was there.
It's true.
Swerve asked Ospreay if he needs Callis to help him win this one too. Ospreay said he doesn't need Callis or the family, and then we cut to them backstage, not super thrilled. More so Trent. Trent did not like that.
No, he did not.
Will went on to brag about how he beat Okada, Takagi, Jericho, Omega last year. He says he sees Wembley on the horizon. He said to Swerve that this is his first main event as world champion, and asked what if the kill shot is just centimeters off. He said whether it's the Oz Cutter, Stormbreaker, or caving his face in with the hidden blade. The next morning, Swerve will wake up without the title. Swerve will wake up saying that Will was better. He mentioned using the Tiger Driver 91 and said that if he did, Swerve would not walk out of the match. Swerve came back reminding Will that this is his first pay-per-view main event, period, and he can thank Swerve for that. He said he doesn't have any friends. They're all just anyone who came for him. Their bodies are numbers to him, and they mean nothing. He's wonder if he breaks Ospreay's arm or leg, who's Ospreay then? He said if his arm gets broken or if he's shaving bald, he's still the mogul, the businessman, the actor, the podcaster, nerd. And he said that this championship will consume you. He said you have to sacrifice that much more. You have to sacrifice your wife and son. Ospreay said never mention his son again because, never
Can't
mention
do that.
Family. And also don't say
It's
bitch.
unmentionable.
Bitch is too far.
Yeah.
Unless you're Okada, you can say it whenever you want. Ospreay told Swerve not to make this personal. Nana cut in, saying this isn't the time or the place. He said they need to save this for the match after Mindor. Nana gestured he said that he did the whose house phrase, and Ospreay showed in my house, so I like that. He walked out, and then Swerve, kind of as Ospreay's walking his way down the steps, he asked what if he wants to make this personal. He said when it comes to the world title, it's always personal, and when Will goes home to give his regards to his wife and son, Ospreay gets in his face. We get some words without a mic, and that's about it.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good exchange.
I thought it was awesome.
Both super confident guys, and rightfully so. And then when I really like Swerve's kind of inching back towards this.
I agree. I thought Swerve kind of reclaimed that edge.
When he starts talking about, I have no friends, I got rid of them all. That's the edge that's been missing.
Even just like him, because, I remember the one thing he said with Joe, that it wasn't personal or whatever, but he'll make it personal. And I like that here he's making it personal when he really doesn't have to.
I agree. I think last week they showed some signs of it, and then also going back intentionally to mention Ospreay's son again.
When he said not to, right?
So he's doing more of the stuff that I like, and it's him inching towards evil Swerve that we've been calling for since it went away, right? Mm-hmm. And the match should be awesome. Do you think the whole driver storyline plays into the finish? Maybe Swerve wins because he won't do it?
I could see that, yeah. It's been kind of his thing lately. I could see that, yeah.
Because he's mentioning all the moves that he could hit, I don't know.
And it's been a reoccurring theme, so it's
I still don't know who's going to win this match.
No, then that makes it interesting.
It does, for sure. So I thought this was a really good, live, in-ring
I really like this. I thought both of them killed it. It's well known, and I absolutely love Ospreay promos. I think he's fantastic every time. And I thought the one line he had that I didn't mention here was like he said, Swerve had a hit row, but Osprey had a hit
That was
list. And
funny.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot. The kill shot line was really killer too. And he just said it with such conviction. I liked it a lot. But I must say, I'm really pleased with how Swerve looked here.
Me
I felt
too.
towards the end, he really tapped in that Swerve a bit more that we want, especially when he was making things personal. It felt like he had that killer edge back a little here, and he ended really strong. I like the Osprey kind of stood his ground too, and I don't think either of them looked weak at the expense of the other.
No.
So I really like this. I thought they did a great job building things here, and Swerve's defense finally feels like a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially, I kind of like that they really pointed out that this is the main event, which I like because Swerve hasn't main evented as champion yet, and
Yes.
also if you want to go there, Osprey got snubbed for the main event last year.
He did.
In my opinion.
We were there.
I was there. So I like that they're kind of pointing that out, kind of make it a little more of a big deal. You know what I mean?
Dynamic's a bit weird because like Osprey's part of a heel faction, but is like the baby.
It's been weird, you know.
And Swerve is the babyface champion, but is
kinda
feeling
healing.
more heel. And I'm fine with kind of both, I guess.
Yeah, I'm alright with it. And then afterwards, we saw the Cass family. Trent was upset, and Cass was like, "Oh, I know him so well. Everything's fine." Takeshita and Trent walk off, and Fletcher just kind of looks like.
Yeah,
conflicted.
Fletcher kind of lingering is what I noted as well.
It's definitely like we're definitely gonna get United Empire together once Davis is in. I think
that's great.
I would love that.
Yes.
Get them in the trios for a bit. I don't know.
I don't know about that. You just have Osprey as your main event guy, and the other two tagging.
As long as Aussie Open do stuff, that's fine.
I agree.
I miss their theme song.
If Davis comes back healthy soon, hopefully.
I want them to put their theme song on Apple. Damn it. I want it. I will gladly just take the Bullet Club Gold theme for like forever, but I'd like the Aussie.
Yeah, you had a buddy over to swim after one of your exams, and the very first song you play on the big new speaker
I had to test it out.
Is
Burning Daylight.
Yeah.
Bang Bang Gang.
Not surprising.
It's the best. I love it. Well, even you were defending it to Mom.
It's a great song. There's no doubt.
Fantastic. Anyways, next we get our all-star tag, the Conglomerate, which is the same thing from last week, but plus two people. It's Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Cassidy, Dante Martin against Sabre Jr., Roddy Strong, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah, just throw in one of the best wrestlers in the world this week.
And Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah. And Taven and Bennett at ringside, obviously.
Oh, that's who you're talking about,
right.
Taven.
That's right.
Okay. Brawl breaks out while Cassie and Sabre have a standoff because they got a singles match at Forbidden Door as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in that four-way we really liked last year, the one with Shibata and Garcia.
That was fun.
That was awesome. Fletcher with the suicide after Briscoe. Then Kyle O'Reilly comes in from the apron with the diving knee. Dante Martin dives onto the pile. Miscommunication between Rodney and Callous Boys, so Kyle O'Reilly tees off with a series of kicks. Dante Martin hot tag flurry as you do. Fletcher assists Takesh to get Dante up for an avalanche powerbomb for two, which is pretty sweet. Briscoe gets a hot tag flurry post-commercial break, and it's super hectic. He's got great energy, and I just love he's all over the place, and it's really great. A series of top rope moves from the faces to Takeshita gets a 2 count. Fletcher breaks the pin. There was a crazy-ass sequence with a lot of people. Just one of those ones where you just kind of give up.
It got nuts for a stretch here.
There was a really sweet back-and-forth exchange between Sabre and Cassidy. Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly absolutely murder Fletcher with total elimination. Like it looked like he got some whiplash on that one.
Yeah, he landed hard.
Got killed. Kyle O'Reilly takes the bullet of a knee strike from Roddy for Cassidy, who capitalizes orange punch to Roddy for the win. After the match, Jack Perry attacks Dante on the stage because Perry, Takeshita, Dante, and Briscoe are in the ladder match so far at Forbidden Door.
Right.
And so Briscoe chases him off. Cassidy and Sabre have a stare down in the ring.
Another really good multi-man match with the final few minutes being like frantic with action from everybody. Really enjoyed it, but nitpick a little. Would have liked to see more Takeshita offense, but still, this was a ton of fun.
When's that not the case?
We got a taste of the upcoming Sabre Jr. Cassidy match, right? And like they look like that's going to be a fun match. I think one match like this or a trios match, even if you want to do it at the same time, should be a staple of Dynamite. Kind of like WCW always gave us a cruiserweight match, and it was to start pay-per-views almost always too, right? You just knew that's you were getting, and it was unique to that company kind of thing.
For sure.
Because this was another super fun match.
I really liked it. Much like last week's match, this was a load of fun, frenzy match, full of great talent, and of course it's super enjoyable. I might have honestly preferred last week's a little more. I think trios is perfect, but adding in Dante and Sabre is not going to hurt anything.
Never.
I thought the exchanges between Saber and Cassidy were what you'd ideally want in these like kind of pay-per-view preview type tag matches, because I thought they were really great exchanges, showcased some really cool stuff, but didn't give away too much,
Yes.
and they whet the appetite just enough.
Agree.
So that gets me excited for that match for sure. Love Fletcher and Takeshita loads. That's nothing new. Briscoe and Dante were good. Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy are stellar. Can give me another match with them if you want. Or just give me Undisputed Era with Cole. Get the Kingdom out of here. They can stay on ROH. I'll will it into existence.
Yeah.
That and Death Rhombus.
I support you.
Lots to like about this. Is great TV fun. It's a catch-all Forbidden Door preview, and I'm here for it.
Catch-all Forbidden Door preview is very apt.
You get some ladder match previews too with Takeshita and Briscoe and Dante, and so that all works as well.
Yep.
Don't know why Roddy's
Smart
here. But
booking, as they say.
it works. There's a Vacker Monet package. Monet was just talking about how she's gonna take the title that was made for her because she got injured and all that. And
Such a baby face.
She was on red carpets, and you don't know about red carpets.
Such a baby face.
I was in Star Wars or something. I don't know. I thought it was solid. I didn't hate it as much as some of the other ones, but I didn't really care.
I just said still not a baby face, still doesn't sound great, but really good in the ring, so I look forward to the match.
Yeah.
That's about it. Succinctly.
Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Roosh backstage, he's angry.
Yeah, he is.
And Callis comes in, approaches him in Spanish about an opportunity. I'm listening. The group might be getting too much, but
and the fit for me, as a Roosh guy and have watched him a bunch, he needs to be like uncontrollable. So he has to be either in charge of the group or in a group where
Takesha's in charge. He can't.
Where just causing chaos is what they do. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
Although you could have a story of trying to control him in a heel faction.
Yeah, I don't mind this. I just don't like. I'm interested to see it, but if it doesn't happen, I don't really care because I like the faction as is.
Try and use Roosh. I'm all for it. So who knows, right? And he's has to be a heel. So
you're not allowed to overshadow Takeshita. If you do that, I will punch you. Because
tag team.
No, Takeshita's world title, baby.
All right,
all the way to the top.
I hope so.
Then we get Bucks versus the Acclaimed in the tag title eliminator. The Acclaimed entrance gets cut off by Okada, accidentally cutting the mic. He says, "I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry, bitch."
And he does covers his face with his hands like he's crying, and then immediately clearly is
it
not
was
upset
something
at all.
because we watched this late. Like we obviously didn't watch it live, and before that, on
Obviously.
Instagram, I had seen the clip of Okada like at least 10 times, and I laugh every time. But then when we watch on TV, it just it kills me.
And it's smart heel heat because you're cutting off like the thing the fans really, really want. Yeah. And I want to hear it too. So
it made me laugh so hard.
He's
Okada's
really funny.
Just a gem. I love him so much.
He is a gem.
It's honestly one of the biggest surprises of this year. Is I love him so much. It's because again, I didn't really want him here.
And you're saying, and it's funny because first of all, I didn't think you'd be saying you love him so much, and B, if you were to say you love him so much, it would be because he had some in-ring stuff that you thought was it. But you're like, it's the character work. It's the 45 seconds of character work that he does that is, but it's true.
It's just hilarious. Very accurate. I love it so
funny.
Much. It's so funny.
Gets a lot out of so little.
It really is, yeah. Someone compared to because he's like the super serious wrestling machine and like doing these little comedy bits. Someone compared it kind of like to Angle.
Okay.
In a way.
Yeah.
Which I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
There's Scissor Me Timbers to Nick. Bowens gets a hot take for the post-commercial break. He's got his thigh wrapped up. I don't remember from what.
But it was a major story in this.
And I think it worked.
Yeah, he sold really well.
His injured leg gets in the way of his usual strike comics. He'll do the chop and whatever, and then he kind of plants back to do the super kick, and that affected him.
Right.
So I thought that was well done, and then Matt capitalized with the super kick for 2. Matt kicks out Bowens' legs, which leads to that draping swanton Nick usually does for a 2 count. Caster breaks the pin. Bowens tries to fight off both Bucks 2-on-1, but they target the leg again. Pair of double super kicks, so 4 super kicks. I don't know.
Quadruple super
2 count. Caster breaks the pin again. Mule kick Lobo from Matt with the ref distracted. EVP trigger to Bowens for near fall. Caster breaks the pin. Super slice bread power bomb from the Bucks for 2. Bowens. The finish comes in. Nick accidentally hits Matt with the belt shot. Then he gets taken out. Matt's hit with the arrival. Mic drop. The Acclaimed surprisingly get the win here.
Jack says, "Wow, people actually win eliminators."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was surprising a little bit.
I can't not, as someone with memory, I cannot remember a time someone's won an eliminator. The closest thing I can remember.
Happened, no?
I don't know, because Takeshita lost an eliminator. I remember Seidel didn't win his.
Yeah.
Moxley hasn't let anyone win one, not even Takeshita. The closest thing I can remember is when Cole and MJF had that match on Dynamite and they went to a draw.
So there you go. This is history, maybe.
It might be, honestly. I legitimately can't remember anyone winning an eliminator ever.
Me either, but that doesn't mean
That
anything.
means nothing.
Really good tag team match. Surprising result, which I love to
For
see.
TV, I was saying to you, I thought I had to really like, because you know how typically a match you have like periods of control for both teams
Yeah.
and like it builds to some near falls or whatever. I thought I had a surprising amount of that for like a TV match.
Right. I thought Bowens and Caster sort of reminded me they're really good when
They
they're
are really
serious.
good. I thought Bowens did a really good job of selling the injury throughout the match, and like it felt legit.
And the Bucks did a good job of targeting it and being like cheating and being underhanded, right? So lots of good near falls, and the finish caught me off guard a little bit. And I'm hoping there's another gear they can get to.
For sure.
Because there's another match coming, right? So good TV match, though,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought they did a really good job of telling that story with Bowen's leg, and I thought he looked really good as a resilient babyface here, and the Bucks looked smart for like they constantly kept kicking his legs out from under him, literally.
Yep.
And like going back to that, and they almost got him, but then their shenanigans got the better of them for once.
Yes.
That gives the advantage to the Acclaim, so I don't mind that. I don't see them win the titles, obviously.
No, of course not.
But I'm looking forward to like a more marquee match between these two teams because I thought they did a good job here. But Okada was the highlight of everything.
Of course.
Then we get Hook and Joe backstage. They're looking to jump the Premier Athletes again because let's bully Mark Sterling, I guess. They come in and there's a note. They're trying to a trios match on Collision because Shibata's the cameraman. So yeah, this was solid. There's just a really cool dynamic here that I kind of like. I do want them to do some more interesting things, but I do really like their dynamic here. Shibata amuses me as well, but Okada's making him look bad.
The detail I liked in this is when they're about to like go into the room, Joe's instructions to Hook is like, I need you to be extra when we burst in, right?
Yeah.
And that to me shows, because we've always said Joe is like this calculating, and that's proof like he doesn't even just burst into a room for random violence. Like that's all planned out, and even like how he's going to behave when he goes in is something he's thought about.
And it's showing him actually mentoring Hook.
It's this cerebral guy who's like, showing this kid like, this isn't just blind rage. I'm going, even though it might look like that, right? This is all part of a careful plan. So I think that is awesome.
And I just like these actually being helpful. Unlike
exactly. I don't need to see another match that comes out of this, but
it'll be on Collision. So
that's what I said. It's not a show I won't watch anyway, so fine.
It's fine. Then we get the contract signing with Mina Shirakawa and Tony Storm, hosted by Mariah May.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting that Storm's the least interesting for me by a wide margin.
Oh, well, unless you're counting Saraya. Saraya is always the least interesting.
Yeah, of course. That's a given.
Mina told Mariah to shut up. She said Storm's a legend and a star, but she's gotten soft and weak as a champion. She said, everybody says we want Mina. She's told Storm that nobody wanted her. She said she'll take her title and her girl at Forbidden Thingy. And she signs the contract. Storm threatened to slap Mina's bloody tits off. And if she raises her voice to Mariah again, she said this buffet is wide open, so grab a bowl and line up. Okay. And Storm said chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe. She signs the contract, and Mina said May must choose. Saraya comes out just to spite me. She's sick of this. She didn't come alone, bitch, so things just went too far already. Anna Jay comes in because that's what I wanted.
Love that faction now.
And because the Outcasts, and where Saraya is now the only one.
We're just running back the Outcasts with two, like replace Ruby and Tony Storm.
Okay, so we took the Outcasts.
With lesser people.
No, not only did we take the Outcasts and put them with people who suck more,
right? We
also put them with people who aren't Outcasts. Because the whole thing was they're Outcasts, they're all from WWE.
Fair.
These people are not. Harley came in from I don't know, and Anna Jay's from Suckville. I don't know.
And before you say, well, they're not the Outcast, they still enter to the Outcast Tron
at least
and
the
theme,
Trons,
right?
yes.
So
I don't want to hear it. It's there is a brawl and stuff. I really don't care.
No, that the addition of Saraya, like, there's no.
Honestly, the segment was fine until that part.
And I'm actually interested in the story.
I think Mina's interesting. Storm, I still don't care. I don't really like her shtick. And then the Saraya stuff, I was like, why would you do this to me?
It's just poisoning another storyline that I'm actually enjoying.
Every time Saraya or anyone affiliate comes on, I groan and complain until they go.
You've added Anna Jay.
I hate Anna Jay.
So May's been really impressive. Shirakawa has this like bizarre charisma, right? Like
there's something to her for
very
sure.
Fascinating. And again, Storm's the least interesting part of this for me
in
until
her own
Saraya.
title feud.
But even that, I'm not minding her. I'm interested in the match. And I seem to be saying that a lot. So I'm kind of looking forward to Forbidden Door. They're definitely spending more time building.
They're doing a decent job. Yeah,
to
because
it.
like this has been kind of in the works, right? So
Yes.
it's not like a completely random thing.
But yeah, the addition of Anna Jay, Saraya, like, no. Just no. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we're getting the trios match next week.
Awesome.
See, we did say we want a trios match every week. We failed to specify.
It is our own fault.
We broued this on ourselves, I'm afraid.
No outcasts.
Claudio Pac promo real quick. He said he and Pac have the prime spots to win. It's a little bold, buddy. They have unfinished business from last year. He says when they collide, let's do it for wrestling and nothing else. This should be sick. Pac being on the same side as Danielson sucks because obviously now he's not going to win.
Right.
But I guess Danielson Switchblade have to be the finals.
Seems like, and we get Danielson Pac probably.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And so then the bracket is for the men. It's Pac, Claudio, Shingo Danielson, Phoenix Switchblade, Jeff Jarrett.
Your favorite
versus mystery person. Most of that I really like.
Mystery person.
Phoenix Switchblade's really cool as a match, and then also keeps the Bang Bang Gang Death Triangle feud alive because I do want to revisit that, of course.
Yes.
So I like that. Shingo Danielson could be cool. I'm not big on Takagi just because I haven't seen him a lot.
I think you'll enjoy him. And Danielson's gonna not that he has to make Shingo look good, but you know what I mean.
Pat Claudio, we watched.
We
Sweet.
did.
The women, I think, is pretty strong for the most part. Deep Willow.
Nice.
Sweet,
Too bad one of them has to lose in the first round.
It's on Rampage, though, so it probably won't happen. Deep for sure, because then Statlander, Nyla Rose is the one we'll get up next. Sheeta Peraza is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I can't enjoy everything, so here's Saraya. But Mariah May is there, so Saraya won't get far.
I really imagine if she
May
does,
has to at least get to the finals.
I think so.
Like if she doesn't,
and she's a much, much better wrestler too. So.
For sure. More on the Owen Hart Cup. We got Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander up next. It's weird 'cause it's kind of heel on heel, but like
it is.
Although
Nyla Rose got a good crowd reaction when she came out,
which is weird.
Yeah. So
since when?
Was it her hometown or something? Where were they?
I don't know. I feel like they mentioned something about that. Running crossbody from Rose, cannonball for 2. Roundhouse kick and an axe kick for 2 from Statlander. Statlander misses a 450 splash, but she rotates really clean on that.
Yeah.
Like it was eye catching for sure. Rose clocked her with a back elbow for 2, kind of hidden blade style, but just not as good. And Statlander managed to get her in a tombstone pile driver for the win.
Impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
It was.
Stokely says he knows Willow wants to beat their asses, but if she does, she'll get arrested like Timberlake. Because apparently that happened recently, I guess.
Oh yeah, he got arrested for DUI, I think it was.
Jeff Hardy. Willow congratulates Statlander on her win. She appears on the Tron. She says she's Diva on Rampage, and when she wins, Statlander won't be able to run anymore.
And yes, Nyla Rose is from not super far.
That makes sense.
They were in Fairfax, Virginia, and she's from Washington, D.C., I believe. I don't know. What was I thinking of? Sorry, I got distracted there. Okay, 7-minute TV match with a clear winner.
It was fine. It was a little tricky because they're both heels, and the action was decent.
Yes.
But it was solid.
I don't want Deeb or Willow to lose round 1. I thought Willow sounded good.
Yeah.
But she always does, right?
Statlander wins as expected, and I like that her feud with Willow. That'll have some story in the tournament.
Yeah. I did make a note that I thought it was weird to put, because you made these tournament brackets, you could have done whatever you want. So a newly heel powerhouse, you put against another heel, one of the only heels who can out powerhouse her.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of, I would have preferred like, maybe a smaller baby face that she could have really dominated.
Bring back Riho. What am I saying?
Oh, and let Statlander chuck her around. Yeah, that would have been more impressive.
That would have worked, I think.
Okay.
And the last Riho match I remember was that Willow one I really liked.
We liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big business.
That's right. It was.
Then we get a private party interview. Mark Quinn said Jericho learned the private party ain't no joke. Jericho came in just to spite me. Jericho.
Yeah, you were selling me on. I don't think Jericho was on this week. I didn't hear anything about Jericho. Way to go.
The literal next thing. Jericho told them about pod drivers and did a Hogan line or something. Big Bill said they're looking forward to the match. They have a lot on Collision. Keith wants them to respect Jericho.
It's just the exact same thing.
It's the same crap every week.
And it's not. It was never good.
Big Bill is really bad in this. I hate it. And Keith is just. I hate it.
My notes say, quote, this show is worse for these segments existing.
Honestly, it docks Marks every time.
It does. And there's people who like it.
It's just so bad.
It's just this week I was just like, this is the same. This is now you just doing the same thing every time and eating up time that could be anywhere doing anything else.
He does say he wants TV time.
Yeah, he got it.
Daniel Garcia versus Rhett Titus is up next.
Rhett Titus.
Random pull.
Yeah, for sure.
Shotgun dropkick into the corner from Garcia. Series of twisted neck breakers from Garcia. He does like the guillotine choke into that bloody cross move for the win. Con Leona attack Matt Menard on commentary. Cage and Hechicero beat down Garcia. MJF runs down for the save, gets overtaken. Ospreay runs for the save and clears the ring. We get a stand up between Ospreay and MJF real quick.
I guess this is like fine lower card stuff and like they're trying to gain traction with Garcia again, but like they seem to try this a lot and I don't know if I believe it's going to work.
Yeah, I feel like it's just Garcia, Ospreay, and then we're done.
Yeah, and again, Hechicero MJF, we talked about that matchup. And
the reaction to MJF Ospreay is really good.
It was, because that's something people want. But like, so the two guys that were randomly watching Garcia's match last week came out to help him, I guess, is the story.
Well, MJF, I think
don't know why they were watching his match last week.
Well, I know why Ospreay would, because it's a challenger for him.
Yes.
MJF, I don't know. MJF, I know he came out because Hechicero.
Yeah.
But that begs the question why Hechicero was there.
I agree.
And Ospreay came out because Garcia.
So I'm a little confused by there's a lot of stuff going on with this, but okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Then we get an Ospreay interview. He says he doesn't care about MJF and he saw Garcia needed help. Cage comes in all angry and we eventually work our way to a match on Collision where it's Cage versus Ospreay for that title. I just wrote Drill Claw.
Won't see it, but it could be a cool match on paper, those
Drill
two.
Claw, anybody.
No Drill Claw.
Or everybody.
It's never happening again, I think. Feels like.
I think so. Maybe it's just too good.
Too dangerous.
Yeah. Then we get Pac versus Claudio and Owen Hart Cup.
With Danielson joining us on commentary.
Quarterfinals,
right. Opening round / quarterfinals.
/ finals? What?
/ finals.
Diving shotgun dropkick from Pac. There's a ridiculous pop-up uppercut from Claudio on the outside. Like, the height on that was crazy looking.
I don't know who sells big moves better than Pac does. And if there is one, let me know. But for my money, a big, high-impact move, let Pac sell it.
Mm-hmm. Or Darby. Darby can just get chucked about the joint. Hurricane from the apron from Pac, followed by beautiful springboard moonsault to the outside. He misses a shooting star in the ring, gets clocked with an uppercut for 2, gets swung around, that looked awesome. He got clobbered with a lariat for 2. Pac countered the Ricola bomb into the brutalizer with Claudio standing. Claudio's walking towards the ropes. Pac went for a sunset flip. Claudio worked that into the sharpshooter. And as Pac neared the ropes, he switched to a crossface submission. The finish came in was just a series of back and forth pins. Pac pinned him with a crucifix. Because even when he wins, I still don't get a black arrow. Because
that was my first thing.
Horrible.
Unsatisfying finish for me, but a really good match.
I was actually angry with how it finished because I'm like, he won and you still couldn't give me the thing I wanted.
Right. Quality technical matchup, right? With 2 technicians, one who's a high flyer, one who's a powerhouse.
It'd be like somehow if Cage won a match and he just still managed to not hit a drill claw.
No drill claw for anyone. And like security ran in and he fought off 20 of them and still didn't hit one.
Yeah, he just hit like all of his. He hit the Weapon X and like the Superplex and he's just like nothing else.
I think the right guy won here, obviously. And like just tournaments, part of the reason I love them is because it's such an easy way to add stakes to any match. So yes, this is going to be a cool match anyways, but now it's actually for a little something. I don't think this was an amazing main event, but I thought it was a very good match.
I thought it was quality. I just wish they got more time because I think they're both great and they had more in the tank.
I remember looking and going, it's like 1 hour 49 into this when it started.
Pac says better than almost anyone. He dishes out just as good. No black arrows, a crime. He won the damn thing. We still couldn't get one. Danielson Pac will be crazy though, so that's sweet.
That should be awesome. That's a kind of a dream match for me, right? So love it. I thought this episode, despite the terrible ratings it did, there were quality matches here.
I do not think the ratings are indicative of how the show was, for sure.
I would say the opener was good, the 8-man tag was good, the tag team eliminator was good, the main event was good.
Yep.
None of those were like, you have to go see them amazing, but 4 good matches on a 2-hour show. But then I thought, other than the learning tree, which was really brief, right? Another good Briscoe promo, Ospreay Swerve good face-to-face, Storm Shirakawa contract signing worked for me. So I went B+. I thought like, it wasn't an A-tier show, but 4 good matches, meaningful segments, a lot of build for Forbidden Door, which they didn't really do last year. I'm pretty happy, so I went B+.
Yeah, pretty good show, I think. The in-ring stuff felt like it was going from strength to strength. Opener, super strong. Nice return to form. 8-man tag was great fun. The Eliminator was really well done. Solid women's match. The squash was whatever. And I thought the main event was strong, if not
Yeah.
too short. Osprey and Swerve was segment of the night by far. Prisco killed again. Contract signing was pretty solid. And all the small segments were solid, except for Jericho and maybe Monet. Also gains points for Okada because he's
Right.
hilarious. And Jericho not really being involved is a
Very,
plus.
very minor.
I think we need a little stronger, and it's in the A range, so it's a high B plus for me.
I agree. Good show. All right, we'll take a little break from analysis and get into some trivia in a segment that we call Off the Top of His Head. All right, what did I say to remember for later?
Something about Osprey and Omega.
So I thought just because we're about halfway through the year that we would look into some of the best matches of the year so far. It's going to be according to, sorry, just checking to make sure the video's rolling. Yeah. It's going to be according to Meltzer, right? So I'm not saying we always agree with Meltzer because we don't. And I think he clearly has some bias to certain companies and areas, regions of the world as well. So I'm going to mostly go from companies that we follow, right? So his best match of the year so far was from AEW Dynasty. That was
Danielson and Osprey.
Danielson and Osprey is correct. Did you hear about one just to see? Got 6+ stars from him. Rev Pro. Did you hear
Was
who
it
that?
Oku and Osprey?
It was Oku and Osprey. Didn't think you'd know that at all. Another one. The third match is from AEW Revolution.
Takeshita Osprey.
Correct. So we're 3 for 3 with Osprey in matches, so you can sort of see who he enjoys. Do you know the New Japan Pro Wrestling, the beginning in Osaka? Who that was?
So the cage match.
No, it doesn't say it was because it does have a column for match type. It involves an AEW guy.
Moxley and someone.
No, it's Danielson Sabre Jr. I didn't know.
I didn't watch that.
From a TNA taping in January 14th, 2024.
Was that when Osprey still wrestling?
Osprey and
Bailey again?
No.
Or Alexander?
Osprey Alexander. A lot of Osprey here so far.
I forgot he had a few matches in TNA. That's weird.
Jumping down a few to the first WWE entrance in this list. WWE Backlash France.
Cody and AJ.
Correct.
That's still a weird 5-star for me.
Gave that 5 stars. We have a TV match from AEW Dynamite, March 6th.
Is that Takeshita and Swerve?
2 people we love, but not Takeshita.
Fletcher and Osprey?
Correct. Fletcher and Osprey, he gave 5 stars.
Oh.
Right? You had to jump down because a bunch of these are New Japan. Episode of Dynamite, May 29th. And it involved many people.
Is it the sudden death thing?
Which was
the
called
Casino Gauntlet?
Casino Gauntlet match.
Which one?
So who was in it? The one from May 29th.
Osprey.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it would be that one, right? Because it'd be Osprey, Hechicero.
Yes.
Okay, so it's that one.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's the more recent one that we really liked.
Leo Rush, Mystico, etc.
Umino.
4 3/4 stars.
Wow.
AEW Double or Nothing 2024.
Osprey Roddy.
Osprey Roddy. I was going to say your first question should be who did Osprey face because this guy loves Will. We do too, right?
I do too. I'm not going to fault him.
Jumping down to the next WWE one I see.
Osprey.
WWE Backlash France as well.
The women's three-way?
Street fight.
Oh, really? The
Who was
bloodline
it?
tag? It wasn't Solo and not Talatonga.
Correct. Shortatonga.
Shortatonga. And
Smalatonga.
Smalatonga. There we go.
That's way better.
And then Owens and RKO.
Right. Jumping down, we're still at 4 3/4 star level. So AEW Dynasty. That wasn't already.
Strong O'Reilly?
No.
Damn. What else was really good on that show?
Couple.
Pac Okada.
Correct. Pac Okada. Got that. WrestleMania XL Night 2 had a 4 3/4 stars
Main
match.
event?
Correct.
Yeah, Cody Roman.
Cody Roman Bloodline Rules.
That is not on par with Pac Okada.
3 in a row, 4 3/4 stars from AEW Revolution. So go ahead.
The triple threat? Hangman, Swerve Joe.
No.
What else is on that show?
We
Roddy
got
Cassidy.
A tornado tag. I'll say that.
Roddy Cassidy.
No.
Okay, so then the main event, which would have been Sting match.
Nope.
What? That was a tornado tag.
They're saying tornado tag. Oh, sorry. Yes, Sting. That's one. Sorry.
Yeah. We already eliminated Takeshita Ospreay.
Yep. There's another tag match. And then a singles.
Kingston Danielson.
Correct. All 4 3/4.
Oh, was it Blackpool FTR?
Correct. Yeah.
Forgot about that match because nothing happened.
Right. A June 12th Dynamite 4.5-star match.
Ospreay Phoenix.
Correct. Ospreay again. And we'll do the final 2. He has 2 here that were 4.5 stars from AEW Double or Nothing. A singles and a not singles. And a women's and a men's.
The trios match?
Which was?
Death Triangle and...
Nope.
Damn it.
Double or Nothing.
Deep Storm?
Nope.
Willow Monet?
Willow Monet was 4.5. And then, what was the main event?
Swerve. Oh, wait, the Anarchy in the Arena.
Anarchy in the Arena, 4.5.
I was going to say Swerve Christian was not.
So yeah, really just going through not many WWE matches, which is one of Meltzer's kind of blind spots. Although
I can't blame him.
How many do we have that are in that range?
I wouldn't even consider the one that he did consider.
All Ospreay matches, which again, like I know he's going to take heat for that, but the guy's matches are awesome.
Yeah, the guy.
And I'm not a huge Meltzer fan.
Crazy.
I'm not trying to defend him, but
it's Ospreay.
It's Ospreay. So yeah, very good. You remember a lot more matches than I would have. All right, so now we'll switch back to talking about more wrestling. Anything notable from the rest of the week we watched. We call it Highspots and Restholds. All right, so I was going to start out with some Raw, and then you can sort of add on anything you saw from Raw.
Yeah, I had a couple, but
I enjoyed it quite a bit this week.
People were raving about it, mostly just because of how it was bookended, I think.
I didn't dislike it. I thought we're definitely going to talk a lot about the main
beginning
event.
and end, even, just with the Rollins right off the bat.
Right, so Rollins does return, right? I watched almost the whole show
looking
this
a
week.
decade younger. He like shaved his beard. He honestly kind of looks like 2015 Rollins. It's
all
crazy.
white with a big old hat and crazy high-heeled boots, which I thought was an interesting choice. But this is Rollins. This is what he does, right?
Rollins, Priest at Money in the Bank.
So Priest comes out, and we're going to get, that's what it leads to, right? Is a title match for them at Money in the Bank. Who wins that? Not to spoil our picks, because we will make picks.
Rollins?
I don't think so, but...
I don't think so. You could do Rollins Gunther.
You could do Rollins
Gunther. I mean, I'm just saying.
Gunther's kind of missing.
It would be incredibly transitional, but Rollins Gunther just makes sense. It makes more sense as a match to me.
It does.
So,
and Rollins as a transitional, he's such a company guy that's not out of the realm for him.
Yeah,
to do that. Yeah. We had Gable quickly losing to Strowman, of course, as he does, and he takes it out on his group. He even it laughed. He like takes Maxine is in like a walking boot and crutches, and he like throws her crutches away and slaps Tozawa. So the crowd's like going crazy in anticipation, right? Otis does shove Gable to the mat, but then walks off. So it's like we're almost getting the
it's not quite like the full shebang.
It's kind of weird. We'll get to like it. More happens later, as to
Gable dies.
That too, right? Where does that fit into this whole thing? Storyline this whole show: Dom's purple cow vest is missing, and we learned that Liv has taken it. And in a scene later in the show, she's basically alone in the hall with Dom, and she's like, "If you want it, you need to take it off of me," and starts to unzip it. And then as Dom starts to unzip it, Priest comes around the corner just to perfectly catch him doing it, right? And like comes up and tells Liv to like leave Dom. Dom wants nothing to do with you, and she's like, "I think he wants everything." So she's killing it. I can't believe I'm saying that in this role.
I don't need her character work. I just think she's a crap wrestler.
But as well, she's so deeply involved in this. Like, there is no challenger on the horizon. Like, I guess she's in an angle with Zelina Vega right now, kind of.
Well, and also it's like
the division just doesn't exist. She's doing really cool stuff with Dom,
but it's
not helping.
Kind of honestly, exactly like Ripley.
It's not helping any woman at all.
Ripley like got crazy over and was doing great, but none of that was because of the women's division stuff.
But at least when she did wrestle, it was going to be pretty good. Whereas Liv,
that is true.
That's the missing piece.
Also with Liv, I don't know how long she can keep this up. Like once this is kind of died down, like she's not gonna because she wasn't interesting before this.
No, this is peak her easily. She I enjoy
it's kind of
her
similar
work
to
right
my
now.
worry with Trent is like
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Once you
She's
separate
good.
yourself, from
It's weird.
this.
Io qualified for the Money in the Bank by winning a decent triple threat with Vega and Kiana James. Pretty much what you'd expect there with those
Kiana
three.
James is definitely gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yes. There was an in-ring segment I kind of enjoyed. It's Breaker interrupting Sami Zayn. Of course, Breaker wants an IC title match.
Give it to Kaiser. I kept thinking, oh yeah, there's someone I wanted to beat Sami Zayn, and it wasn't Breaker, and I was like, Kaiser.
They could have a nice little group sort of at that level if they want.
Absolutely. And I think Sheamus is good at that level.
Agreed.
I don't need him in the main event.
So Sheamus comes and interrupts this, right? And kind of I liked it because he basically disregards Braun and starts talking to Sammy and Braun is like, dude, you can't come in here and act like I'm not even really here. And it was just this
which kind of furthers the anger he's already had with being neglected for the King of the Ring.
Right.
So it kind of ties
feeding into that trauma, right? And so they're basically just two badasses almost nose to nose here. And it's gonna
I'm sure some people would say Breaker's a badass and Sheamus is a fat ass, but whatever.
And it gives us a match that didn't quite deliver for me, but at the time I was looking forward to, right? Because Braun's still being presented really strong. And I find myself, and it's credit to them, looking forward to fresh matchup for Breaker, right? Because he's kind of fun to watch.
I think even having Kaiser in the mix, a solo guy now also.
So I was like, oh, we're getting Breaker Sheamus. That should be awesome. Carlito beat Dragon Lee due to some JD McDonough shenanigans.
My boy.
I only included it to say Carlito does not look good, man. He looks really slow and clunky. And I don't know, man. He's not good. It was not good. Otis and the rest do quit on Gable and basically leave with their luggage. Gable is like, you can't quit because you're fired sort of thing. Like you're expelled from the group and rants about winning Money in the Bank. Because it's like, he's now mad and he's like, Otis could never, he won it but couldn't do anything with it. So I'm going to win Money in the Bank.
Creed brothers get him in?
And cash it in and win, he's saying. So I thought, interesting if this is the moment of Otis leaving. I don't know why it wasn't in front of a live crowd and a little bit bigger.
Anticlimactic.
But then it makes me wonder with the end of the show is where are they going with this anyways? But anyways, Drew McIntyre quits WWE, right? And again, this is where I noted that commentary bend themselves into pretzels to make this Drew's fault. Quote, his obsession with Punk has caused him to lose his title shot and his career. I put, really? Has it though?
We already discussed
We
that.
did. I did love the way his quitting was handled. It's like he walks out and it felt real because the GM is walking beside him trying to talk him out of it and he's just not really listening.
Yeah, I did see that. I like that too. I just hate Punk.
And we sympathize more with Drew here, as
Absolutely.
I think most rational people would. Damage Control lost to the Rave Girls, and EO is basically like, Damage Control has to change or I will change them. So I'm like, give me unhinged EO for a while.
As long as she doesn't go 2.0 Dakota Kai psychotic.
Right. That was a bit much. But, and then we had the Braun Sheamus match ended in a DQ because Kaiser came down and grabbed Sheamus's leg. The match itself was okay. I was hoping for a little bit better, but the highlight came when Braun. So Kaiser's running to attack Sheamus.
Yeah, because he does that running. He'll do run on the ring, drop kick you into the stairs.
And so they went to a bird's eye view of.
Oh, I've seen it so many times. It looks awesome.
And so Braun's running.
Because Breaker's fast enough to cut him off at the pass
and spear him in half before he. They're
running around opposite sides of the ring, and then Breaker spears the crap out of him. It was awesome.
Awesome visual, for sure. And then Zayn and Braun sort of stare down as Zayn's holding up the title in his face. So there's lots of good stuff happening.
That'd be a killer four-way if that's the way you want
there's a nice little storyline happening all around that belt. Jey Uso qualified for Money in the Bank by winning a triple threat that I didn't watch because it involved Jey Uso. And you knew who was winning, right? It was against Balor and Ray, I think. So it's pretty clear at that point.
Kieran T. Balor took the pin.
And then the end of the show, this is what we all are waiting to discuss, I think. So coming from a place of, we're talking about the Wyatt 6, obviously. Jack being a huge Bray Wyatt fan, really, really liking his stuff when he was allowed to sort of do his stuff, I think. And me being much more skeptical and much less open to magic and stuff. So if you want to recap what happened, and then we can talk about. I just said Jack can describe.
I definitely missed the Fiend in the Funhouse. That was peak
yes.
thing. But no, it's cool. I think the lights went out, and then like,
everyone's flashlights on their phones, so there's fireflies everywhere.
And you go backstage, and everything's just like completely messed up. Like the gorilla position is just trashed. And then I think as you go through, I think you see like Gable's bloody, or like he's like
shot in the head, ?
Dead, and like there's blood splatter there. There's a blood splatter somewhere else. It looks like Cross, and like you see each person. I think at first it was Nikki Cross on the stage,
yes,
with her like mask or whatever, and then as you go through, there's the tall guy in the bunny mask, which is Rowan.
Yeah.
There's this guy in like immersed the buzzard mask, which is Loomis. The pig mask is Gacy.
Yes.
And then finally you come across Uncle Howdy, and then you follow him back out. You go through like that door. Remember when Bray came back, he had like that door entrance?
Yes.
There's that. And then they were all on stage. It's like the we're here, and then Howdy blows out the lantern.
Yeah, because Cross crawled up to like the lantern that was on the ramp, right?
Yeah.
So I thought this was super cool, and I'm not the one that loves this stuff. It looked amazing.
It really felt like they had a presence. They felt like a big deal. Because they just took out, like they just wrecked shop. And I saw someone point out that I kind of like is when Drew's walking out, you can see that everything Gorilla is normal, like everything's fine.
So it happened real, yeah,
exactly, right. So that kind of really, there's like the contrast. You can really see like they wrecked shop.
They did. And they looked really cool.
And like I watched the video of it. It was like a 5-minute video, and like just the slow pacing of like showing you each person, and they all like you follow them out.
Just a single note Bray song playing, right? And just you can't quite tell what you're seeing, like who exactly has all been taken out. You could clearly see Gable. It was tough to see who else was there.
And then like the classic Y family line at the end and blowing out the lantern is
really
a nice
cool
nod.
Stuff.
So I like everything they did here. I really don't know where this is going to go. I'm hopeful.
That's the problem for me. How did they interact with anybody else on the roster?
I don't know. I'm hopeful.
If you go not supernatural, just like a
kind of
scary
like horror
cult,
I would like that.
That's intriguing to me.
No
powers.
If you happen to go supernatural, like just go lights out and stuff like that. Nothing like because the Fiend was a little supernatural, but it didn't border on too much for me.
It was too much for me.
Got
to be too much for me.
It depends, but I didn't like when he got burned alive.
I'm just really nervous. Less nervous because it's a different people in charge, but really nervous about how this group, after that presentation, how do they get involved in a storyline with anyone?
Yeah.
That's my problem.
We'll see. But I'm super happy with that just because.
Did they wait for a War Games and that's where they debut as a group? Because it's super violent.
It's all of them. I feel like that's too long.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes.
But yeah, I was really impressed, and it was like captivating stuff. And apparently, like fans of horror genre stuff that aren't wrestling fans are checking this out, right?
It was really cool, yeah. And
the costumes and stuff looked amazing.
If it's the same guy who did the Fiend mask, I think his name's like Jason Baker or something like that. He does some really great work. So yeah, I thought the buzzard mask on Loomis was especially really cool.
Yep.
So I thought it was really cool, and there's only 5 of them. It's like 6 spelled like SICKS, but I think the S might be a 6.
So there's rumors of obviously Alexa Bliss or maybe nobody, and it's just to honor Bray as
which I kind of thought I think is cute member. Too. Yeah.
And I heard somewhere that there were like little foreshadow of like puppets throughout the show.
I saw that too, like these shadowy figures
spread out.
Yeah.
Like not moving, just sort of lying or whatever. Still,
kind of like
anyways.
I think there was a time way back where there would be like Bray's puppets would be appearing backstage back when he was doing the Funhouse shtick.
I think the lamest part about all of this, and I'm surprised how much I liked it to be honest, was commentary like throughout the show and at the beginning, especially when being like, I think they arrived tonight, and it was just like they didn't care, they weren't nervous, they weren't scared,
or even just like
another.
I'd rather they just don't know
angle happening.
It would just be cool if they just didn't know.
Yes.
And there's nothing.
That's one thing as I'm going through Lucha Underground again was commentary, never knowing any of the vignettes and strange stuff. They just weren't part of that universe. They literally called matches and were witness to stuff that happened in the ring
in Boyle Heights,
and that the rest was not. But anyways, so cool end to Raw. Did they show up on SmackDown? No,
I assume they're sticking there.
So Raw exclusive. I didn't know if it was such a big thing they had to acknowledge it.
I would also be curious to see if Strowman ever gets involved.
Ugh.
Because
I hope he was, right? And Orton and Danielson.
That doesn't...
That's when things got a bit... That was some of the parts I did not enjoy.
It kind of like, when Orton burned his house down, we're supposed to feel bad. We're not supposed to feel bad for Bray.
Exactly.
Kind of like Drew.
Right. All right, NXT. Then I will talk about the number one contender battle royal was first. So almost, I think it was 25 people. Basically everybody in there. Javon Evans gets an entrance. His ribs are heavily taped from the spot he did with the announce table the week before. And then we get Joe Hendry's music, and he's a surprise entrance through the prohibited portal.
I saw his the video of his debut is like their most liked thing on Twitter.
It's been a viral thing, so I mean, good for him, right?
Yeah, you gotta do something with that.
It's just getting him money next contract. He comes available.
Yeah.
Ethan Page also gets an entrance, but Oro Mensa attacks him immediately, and they spill out to the floor while Hendry has his back turned to everybody to sort of watch that happening. They all attack Hendry and throw him out in less than a minute. So I was like, interesting.
It's suspect.
He's the most interesting guy coming across, and he's gone right away. But again,
even just the hype he's already generated,
and it took everybody to take him out. So I guess he's made the most out of it.
I did see something of him backstage upset with Sean, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, they could turn it into something for sure.
Yeah, he got a great reaction.
The crowd was chanting BS that he got thrown out too early. I know that.
He's crazy popular all of a sudden.
He is.
It almost reminds me of LA Knights, like just sudden boom up, you know?
Lexus King slaps Tony D in the back. Tony turns around, but people have changed position, so he thinks it's an Afe. Easily throws an Afe out. Dragon Lee, Apollo Crews, Berto, and Angel are there for main roster. And Hendry and Kaz are the only ones I noticed from TNA. So Kemp hits.
They should have brought in Ace Steel too.
Ugh, he was in action this week. We'll get there. Kemp hits a sliding drop kick to eliminate Malik Blade, but he also eliminates his faction leader in Charlie Dempsey at the same time.
Great.
Kaz then eliminates the other two no quarter catch crew, so they're all out. Chen and Tavion Heights are battling on the apron, and Holland eliminates both of them. Crucifino sacrifices himself to save Tony, and Crucifino's out. Garza eliminates Lexus King after King eliminates Berto. Tank eliminates Garza.
Don't call him Berto. That's dumb.
Bait eliminates Tank after a crazy airplane spin of a pretty large man.
Was Pete done there?
No. Tony D catches fire, tries to take out Fraser in the process, but Fraser ends up eliminating Tony instead. So lots of storylines being furthered or started here, which is stuff that I enjoy, right? Dragon Lee with a sick high knee to Fraser on the apron to eliminate Fraser. Dragon Lee and Bait work together to eliminate Ridge Holland. Spears shoves Bait off the top.
Oh, we could have had a Pete Dunne Ridge Holland interaction. God damn it.
We could have. Spears shoves Bait off the top to eliminate him. And we create a final four of Evans, who's pretty much been invisible to this point. Dragon Lee, Spears, and Kaz.
Spears.
However, there was another person we forgot about. Kaz is eliminated by an Evans Irish whip, which I thought was an interesting, like one of those hits so hard he flips over the top sort of thing. Evans and Dragon Lee get an extended period together. I guess we're supposed to forget about Spears. He comes out of nowhere, shoves Lee off the top to eliminate him. We get an anti-air super kick, leaping kick, and then Evans just throws Spears over the top to win the Battle Royal. I actually thought it was pretty fun, even though there weren't many real contenders. They did... the eliminations were quick and sort of varied, and there was some storylines being furthered along the way, which I think is always
bold choice for winner.
I thought so too, like for a title shot.
But then I think as things shake out and the show kind of makes sense that it's not the sole route they're going.
It's that's exactly. I started going, really, Evans is the next title guy, and then things sort of.
This will be for our show, so it better shake out decently.
Right, 17-minute match. I thought it went by pretty quickly. I'm not a battle royal guy, but I thought this one was pretty productive. So at one point in this next segment, my note says there are 4 NXT women on the screen, and I can only confidently identify one of them. So it's one of those locker room where they throw in a lot of the young ones. So 3 of them are talking about the upcoming Kalani Meechin match. Fallon Henley interrupts to say that if anyone deserves a shot, it's her. Sol Rook is just quietly sitting there beside all the chaos. She gets up and walk away as the other 5 argue back and forth, kind of in cartoonish fashion. So it's like Henley's clearly a heel, Rook is above all the drama, and the rest are like teenagers, is what I got from this. So fine. Roxanne did not like the way that Lola Vice looked at her title last week because they ended up in the ring together fighting off people kind of strangely.
Oh, yeah.
And Vice snuck a peek at her title, so she didn't like that. Vice tells Perez she's not coming after her yet, and they should focus because they have a tag match later. Perez says she doesn't trust Vice or anyone else. And it sort of still feels like they're leaning Vice babyface, which isn't my favorite, but
which is weird.
I feel like it's one of those she's on the fast track, so let's see what
I guess
We've
so,
had her as a
yeah.
heel. She's cool. Let's, you know what I mean? Kind of like they're
Yeah.
doing with Roxanne, but the reverse, I guess. Chase U give Ridge a t-shirt for his performance in the Battle Royal. Riley Osborne is back home, but they're sure he'll be happy about that decision.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. Good Brothers interrupt and are obnoxious. Hale gets fired up and is held back by the rest. Don't care about Holland or the Good Brothers or really Chase U at this point, so fine. Triple threat match. Jakara Jackson, I always forget her first name, right? And Lash Legend versus JC Jane, Jasmine Nix versus Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez. Can they coexist, I guess, right? What a fresh storyline. Lash with power spots early. The ref's not enforcing rules at all. I don't care. I'm just saying it because AEW takes heat for it all the time. So I'm pointing it out here as well. Perez and Vice high five after taking everyone out. Lola with hip attacks to Jackson and Nix at one point. Lash cleans house, double suplex to Vice and Jane. Next note just floating there on its own. Jakara Jackson is not good. No specific evidence, just the general impression. Vice back fist to Jackson. Perez tags herself in, hits the Pop Rocks for the win after 10 minutes. Perez raises Vice's hand in victory, but then hits her with a back fist that was not in the right place. It was pretty like mid-section back fist. But anyways, felt random and kind of frantic. They clearly wanted the situation with Perez and Vice to progress, so they sort of built a match around it. Lash needs more power spot focus. We've talked about this. Nothing really stood out. Again, sort of makes Vice the sympathetic figure because she got taken out at the end. So I'm not sure that's what I want for her, but that looks like it's slowly a face turn for her. Ava congratulates Evans on winning the Battle Royal, and Paige interrupts in a rage with the whole like, I was never eliminated. True. And he's pissed about it. He was not eliminated from this match. So he starts to take it out verbally on Evans, and Evans just challenges him to a match tonight, and that will be our main event. And at this point, I'm worried because I'm like, how can Paige win this match when Evans is the next title contender? But I don't like the idea of Paige losing again.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit confused here, but we'll sort it out by the end. Meech and Kalani Jordan had a match. Kalani Jordan wins after out the mud, distract the Good Brothers. Jada Parker runs down, shoves Meechin off the top. Meechin like kindly rolls right into position for the split-legged moonsault so Jordan can win. Match was fine, few blemishes, but fine. Ethan Page has excuses for everything, and it kind of makes sense and is entertaining because it's him, right?
I love Ethan Page.
I'm still in the Battle Royal. I was attacked before his title match, right? So he wasn't at 100% for that. And so he's going to deal with Evans tonight in the main event, and then Mensa, because Mensa won't stop. I think he's attacked him like 4 times for whatever reason now.
Because wasn't it implied that Ethan Page took out Dar or something?
I think that's he implied, or he admitted he took out Dar.
Something like that. So I think I remember discovering that's why Mensa attacked him.
Right. So Mensa's just attacking him on site all the time right now. Izzy Dame will dominate wrestling like she did volleyball. Because it was all about, she's a sick volleyball player. As someone who played and coached volleyball, she's amazing. And it does give her a little bit of depth, but it was basically like, here's a highlight reel of her being good at volleyball. Okay. Axiom's annoyed that Fraser was in the Battle Royal. Crucifino interrupts you. I think you might have seen a clip of this morning because it was when we had the network on. It was what was on. We turned it on. Anyways, Crucifino comes in with a Heritage Cup contract and like Fraser snatches it immediately and signs it. Axiom says unbelievable and walks off. And I, for one, I'm not ready for so much tension between them. I'm hoping it's one of those like we're baby faces, we get around it, but like I want them further established as a team. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Because I worry about each of them as a single, right? But anyway, so that seems to be the story we're telling. Femi goes to the ring. No one's like him. Who could ever take the title from him? Wesley comes out, says that Femi never pinned him. Femi gets annoyed by him. Says Lee's focused on the North American title and Femi is tired of him and starts to walk off. Lee's like, you don't walk away from me, blah, blah, blah. So long story short, Wesley will get a North American title shot, but it will be his last. So feels like, is this where Femi loses, or
I don't know.
Or is Lee like on track to go up to not main roster, but like main event status?
I could see him doing that because you might need someone else to challenge, right? So I don't know. I feel like there's a bit more for Femi because I mean, what does Wesley really gain from having another title run with this? Like, because he already had the lengthy run,
right?
So.
And it's, I mean, he never really lost it. I guess
he did lose to Dom.
True. And this match will be a cool contrast to styles, and I don't know who'll win, so we'll see. Hank tells Tank that he is now cleared and they have their sights set on the No Quarter Catch crew. Sure, why not? No Quarter Catch crew continue their recruitment, I guess, of Tavion Heights. Dempsey's really mean to Bourne, and they keep doing like deaf jokes. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me about blah blah blah?" And Bourne's like, "I didn't hear anything." I'm like, is it poor taste? He's doing it himself, but it's also being written for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that. Heights agrees to join the group, but Dempsey like seems to. It's like he's the idiot that doesn't know how to negotiate. He didn't hear that, so then he's like, "You have to face Kemp next week and beat him to get in." Even though Heights is sitting there like, "I said I'm in."
Even though they want him in too,
right?
It's not like Tavion's like, "Hey, I want," and they're like, "No, you have to beat someone."
So
it's like they want him,
right? We're recruiting you, and you agree, but then we set a barrier to you joining. But I think the idea is that Dempsey's crazy, and he didn't do any impersonations of Tony D or do any mobster stuff. So if that's what he's doing instead, I'm fine with that. And he's just a prick to his stablemates, right? Then whatever, fine. As long as he gets away from the Tony D stuff. NXT Anonymous catches Gallus backstage with Joe Coffey livid that Wesley's getting another title match. Tyson and Tyreek attack them. Okay, sure. Carly Bright versus Fallon Henley, and I have no idea who is seconding Bright. One of the women from the earlier segment backstage. Vic tells us that Bright is the toughest cheerleader he's ever met. The crowd is dead. Something Gray is the person out with Bright. Layla Gray, maybe? Because apparently they've been like a tag team-ish on maybe Level Up or something.
Has to be Level Up.
Because it's something about they look the same.
I guess.
Tag team is Bright Gray. Nice. Wendy Chu shows up. That's the whole point of this. Chokes out Gray, whoever she is. They tease a distraction win for Henley, but Bright's one step ahead. And then it's like a pump handle thing into a cutter. And the Shining Wizard and Henley wins. Pretty boring. Bright can't do much that's not like gymnastic flippy related and seems to be so green that it kind of limited Henley as well. I guess Chu is starting at the bottom, right? With facing Bright or Gray or both.
I guess so.
Whatever. Eddie Thorpe's interviewed in the parking lot, says that he has shown his new intensity and is building momentum.
He's reborn.
Welcome change, because the vignettes have been virtually identical. So this was him kind of being just a regular guy talking in the parking lot. So I thought it was a bit helpful, actually. Main event. Not yet. Evans and Trick have a moment backstage where Evans getting taped up. They both hate Ethan Page, don't think he belongs in NXT. Evans says he'll beat Page and then have his title match with Trick. Have you heard Evans speak? Really unique delivery.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's kind of like this laid back, I don't worry about anything kind of thing.
I did see this bit, so yeah, he's not bad though.
No, he's not. For being 19 or whatever, it's pretty crazy. Good Brothers and Chase U, which is Chase himself and Hudson. Commentary calls zero action for the first couple of minutes. They talk about Chase U accepting Ridge Holland and Trick texting Vic about joining commentary for the main event. Sure. Good Brothers dominate Chase, kind of boring. Hudson hot tag. Chase takes out Gallows on the floor. Hudson rolls up Anderson with an unwanted assist from Holland. So I think we're not even supposed to notice it, but I did. And I think the point is that Duke Hudson is the only one that knows, because he was sort of holding Duke from ringside to hold him down for the pin to help. And I think the camera angle was supposed to hide it. Commentary made no mention of it. I think it's one of those, we'll see the footage later. And other than the finish, the match had nothing to it. But it is introducing this storyline where the newly accepted Ridge is helping the super baby faces cheat who don't cheat.
Yeah, who don't want to.
And only Hudson knows. So does Hudson tell them, or does Hudson like keep taking wins?
Because they're, yeah.
So I don't know. I found that kind of interesting. Ava and Kalani talk about Kalani's next challenger. Kalani starts out saying it should be a hard worker who doesn't complain and never asks for anything. And then Ariana Grace comes in and is like, oh, you're talking about me. That's awesome. Right. And Kalani says no, she's talking about Sol Ruka. Grace insults Ruka and says she's better than her. So Stone suggests she prove it because he's the assistant GM, I guess now. Ava agrees. So we've got Grace and Ruka in a match next week. I don't think Kalani sounded very good here. There is some knocks on her speaking a little bit. But it makes sense that she's the super baby face willing to fight another baby face because she's a good person, right? Thea's ecstatic about Chase U's win. Chase asks why the OC were complaining. No one seems to know. So it's like that whole it is what I thought, that nobody knows the cheating other than, and it does kind of add some spice to kind of bland Chase U stuff lately. So if they start embracing shortcuts to get wins, it kind of changes their dynamic. Main events, Paige and Javon Evans. Evans' midsection is heavily taped, and of course, Ethan Page is a heel, so he's targeting it right away. Vic is saying that the table that Evans hit so hard last week was inadvertently moved, and I have no recollection nor clue of why he mentioned that. Somebody was there and moved it. Is there a third person I'm supposed to know?
Did Spears move it?
Right? Or I don't know. But anyways, I didn't catch that at all. Page deliberately attacks the midsection. Evans gets a small flurry, but Page goes right back to control. Evans eventually turns the table with all of his high-flying stuff and all of his kicks that he does. Page runs Evans into the corner, hits the Ego's Edge for a clean win after 10 minutes. So I kind of breathed a sigh of relief because Page picks up the win here. And the young challenger, he still has his title shot. It's not expected he wins every match at 19, especially against a veteran heel like Page. So, okay. The match itself was kind of slow, but it's establishing Page as this vicious, calculating heel, right? Because targeting the midsection the whole time, and Evans is the resilient babyface. So they were telling a decent story with the
I feel
action.
like they'll go at least triple threat, or you can throw Spears in for a 4-way or something.
It feels like there's something with Spears in this bunch, right? So after the match, Page faces off with Trick. Meanwhile, Spears, as we're saying, slides in the ring to attack Javon Evans. Trick goes for the save, but Page and Spears double team him. Evan comes back to take out Spears and Page, and the show ends. Kind of another like almost bird's eye visual of all four men lying on the mat with the title sort of in between them. So it was kind of cool, except that Sean Spears is included in that foursome of people in the title orbit, which is crazy, but
How dare you?
I know. So yeah. TNA I watched, finished this morning really quick. You look tired, buddy, so it'll be like a 2-minute recap, I promise. Really weak episode of TNA. I don't know any high spots. And the clubhouse leader for at golf reference you would love for worst segment of the year that I made you watch. Like I literally queued up the iPad to the segment and said, you're watching this. So we'll get there. The System start the show really long in-ring segment explaining the addition of Dirty Dango to their group, I guess, at the last pay-per-view. And it's basically, guess what the very rich story is. We came into the business together. We traveled the road together. We're all friends.
I believe it for Myers and Dango, and that's about it. Even then, I don't know if their timeline really matches up.
I don't either. He goes by JDC now because it is. Sorry, what? Johnny
Join the club.
Johnny Dango Curtis, I think. And again, he continues to tell us in every segment he gets how great on the mic he is, while being better than average on the mic, but no better. Anyways, Santino comes out, announces that they're on the road to Slammiversary. I guess that's like their Mania, right? So over the next few weeks, there will be
their Mania is Bound for Glory.
One of those two, I don't know. Over the next few weeks, there will be 5 singles matches, and the winner gets added to 6-way elimination match for Moose's title. Tonight's main event is one of them.
5 matches for a 6-person match?
Yeah.
Who's the 6th person?
That's how we're doing it. So it's Alexander versus Eric Young in the first of those Road to Slammiversary matches. Really long segment. The addition of Dango to the group doesn't change much for me. He's trying a more serious character, I guess, so good for him. I will say the System does get good heel reaction.
Is there a 6th mystery person or something?
In what?
5 singles matches for a 6-person match?
And then the champion.
Oh, it's for the title?
For Moose's title, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a number 1 contender.
Yeah. No. A championship match. Normal, not broken Matt Hardy spoke about being mad about accidentally spearing his wife through a table as Jeff just stood there and said nothing. Matt says he'll create chaos and that he is not alone. Another angle on the pile of angles I don't care about on TNA right now. It's not good. Another awful mic check segment with Angels having Kushida on, and Kushida's trying to figure out the whole Gresham makes people sick. Angels says not nice things about Kushida. They have a confrontation that'll lead to a match that no one could possibly care about. Kaz and Nate Steele had a really basic, generic 7-minute street fight. So it was nothing really. Kaz won with a fade to black on a chair, very safely on a chair. Shouldn't have existed. Nothing here at all. Don't know why. Just casting. They even mentioned CM Punk by name, just trying to cash in on that whole thing.
Yes, but not doing a very good job of it either.
No. Then we get the segment we've all been waiting for. It's PCO and Delander's date. which takes place where, Jack? Where do all dates take place?
The boiler room.
No.
In the ring.
In the middle of the ring on like a cafeteria table with the tablecloth.
Not even a cafeteria table, like just the tables they use for matches.
Right. A standard wrestling table. Worst thing I've seen in wrestling this year. So basically, she's coming out like she's Elvira. I think this is like Addams Family-esque. Like they're creepy and scary, but it's funny and they're actually nice people.
You misspoke. You said it's funny.
They drink gross stuff. They eat gross food. Delander seems fine with it, and they're the Addams Family. Is what I said.
Can't speak, even though he's like, just because he's like this Frankenstein thing. Frankenstein was a human. Like
she asks him direct questions, and he grunts in response, and it's supposed to be humor. And they drink like black sludge out of a wine carafe, and it's supposed to be. He likes
the Notebook, but that's just her taking. It's like when Groot talks to Marvel,
or
and, like,
Chewbacca.
They say what he says, but we don't know for sure.
Right. It's like Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
And then he eats the Stephanie. He can speak for a minute because he says it's the Stephanie special, the whatever black spaghetti he was eating.
Yeah.
That he eats, picks up by the fist and eats it.
Again, he's still a human person.
It's so stupid. Anyways, it gets even better because the only group you'd want to interrupt this is, what are they called again?
First Class.
First Class. So it's AJ Francis and what's his face? Swan. They come out and basically PCO gets taken out and then Delander slaps AJ Francis and he choke slams her through a table. And like poor Delander, because I don't know, I was interested in seeing what she can do, but this is like surrounded by garbage. I don't know. It was so bad. When you were watching it, I was just sitting there giggling because it's so bad.
That's in fairness, I was like that when you had to watch Wrestle House.
So go back and watch this if you just want to watch terrible wrestling segment. Like, what's been worse than this year?
If you're like going through a tough time right now, or like you're contemplating life, don't watch this.
But if you just want to laugh at something terrible, because someone had to have this idea and other people had to say yes.
Other people had to set it up.
Right.
Other people had to write it.
Right. The poor people involved here. Anyways, Ash by Elegance won a short match against the Jobber. Jordan Grace came out and ended up taking a belt shot from Ash. Furthers yet another storyline I have zero interest in. There's a bit of a recurring theme here. JDC beaten the Lesser Nemeth in a quick, unmemorable match to establish his new character, I guess. And then Brother Nick comes out to save Ryan from a system post-match attack. And in the first of 5 qualifying matches and the main event on this show, Josh Alexander pinned Eric Young after 12 minutes with a C4. Like, so you know Josh Alexander, you know Eric Young. It's the exact 12-minute match you would expect them to have. Totally fine, but like as fresh as a week-old bagel. You know what I mean? It's like both of these guys have been in this company forever. We've seen this a million times. They had a good TV match, but nothing notable. So a really disappointing episode of TNA. They're just not, whereas WWE, it's like there's a bunch of storylines I'm actually interested in. There aren't any right now, I don't think. That's not true. Mustafa Ali, who had a little segment this week, is about the only thing I care about. Anything you'd like to add?
The only thing Highspots I had from SmackDown were that Mello and Andrade are in Money in the Bank, which I think are both great picks.
That's awesome.
I really like the finish to the Andrade's match where Owens got taken up by the Bloodline, and then Waller kind of went in for the Rolling Stone and then got caught immediately in Andrade's like new finisher.
Oh,
so I thought that was really cool. Actually, it looked really clean.
So
Mello kind of got lucky, rolled up Orton in the middle of, because it was him, Orton, and Tonga. So obviously it's like
Small Tonga.
So he kind of got lost like in the shuffle, and he kind of was just lucky there. But I'll take it.
So where are we at for the entrance in the Money in the Bank matches?
Uso and those two.
And
Chelsea Green for women's with EO, I think it was. You said right.
So probably no chance Mello can win, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Andrade either.
No,
I just like that they're
Andrade.
there. It's a good spot for them.
Yeah, awesome.
And even just from the in-ring standpoint, Uso's not bad. It'll be better than like a multi-man match for sure.
I feel like he's maybe the favorite, but babyface
right
with
now,
the case they don't love.
That's true.
So
at least not for long periods. And then the other one was after.
That's why it should be Bartel.
Yeah. After quitting on Raw, McIntyre showed up on SmackDown to beat the crap out of Punk and send him away in an ambulance. That's comeuppance.
Nice. And
not to the same degree, but.
And is he staying quit or like, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Anyways.
He just like, I think it was Waller was arguing with DIY because Theory wasn't there. And like those garage door kind of things that just like pulls up in McIntyre just standing over a bloody Punk. And then he brought him out to the stage and took off his bracelet that like was, I think it was AJ and Larry on it.
Oh, personal. Things are personal.
That was it.
Nice. And you said there's nothing new for figures this week. So I think we're pretty much done in a hour 40. That's about as short as it gets when we come down here to talk about wrestling. We appreciate any of you taking some time out of your week to listen to us talk about wrestling. We'll definitely be back for 206 to talk about another week. Is there any major
Forbidden Door preview, baby?
Forbidden Door preview next week? That's exciting to lay that all out and talk about it. So we'll do that for sure, on top of all the other stuff we talk about. Thanks again for tuning in for a little bit. We'll see you back here for 206. And until then, everybody, take care.